And we are live. Welcome to the Renegade podcast. I'm your host, a dashing rogue, and with my frequent sidekick, artistic layman.
I have an AI that wants me to take requests, and two lieutenants who think they can read my mind. I wonder if my day can get any better. General Vicar, an order has been... Not now!
Oh, geez, that sounds like an average day in my life now. At this point, we have mind reading borderlines and magical people, and we have AI. You know, we're getting unironically we're getting closer to Battlestar Galactica, at least to the newer version of it. We'll soon have AI waifus.
Not quite Battlestar Galactica, but that was the world of Prisoner Zero.
Prisoner Zero, which one's that about?
It's an Australian-based animated show. Basically, you know, the Imperium. There's a large government called the Imperium that's basically put nanotech into our brains to control us.
Oh, so basically Elon Musk.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, Elon, honestly, like, he's overrated in my humble opinion. That's just me. Anyhow, welcome everyone to the Renegade podcast. Let's get things started. Let's see if I can get this in order. See if we get more people in here. There we go. And welcome, Vinny. Welcome. Yo, I texted you. I got to do some stuff, but I'll leave your stream on. Okay, thank you, man. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Let's see. So we're going to talk of that. For those of you who need to know, that song was Double Barrel Attitude Adjuster. It's Argent Metal. I think I played that a couple times on here before. But I figured, hey, why not? We're in the mood for kicking ass and saying names and slaying dragons, so to speak, Luke. And one of the things you have to understand about dragons is they're oftentimes, well, in this case, they're lawful evil motherfuckers. They're lawful evil. Now, you know anything about lawful evil, Luke?
What about them?
Well, here you go, Luke. Here you go. Watch this. This is what we're dealing with when we're dealing with lawful evil. And you're going to slow realize these type of people, especially if you can't just riot and like beat the living shit out of them with a billy club. You can't really stop them because they play within the system of jurisprudence, so to speak. Hey, lawful evil, how you doing? I got those links on what is it? Telegram. Got that on there. I got your links about apparently everyone's favorite chaos magician. There we go. Play it, Luke.
So, can you do it? What? Cool. I heard what you said. How exactly am I supposed to do that? What? I need specifics. A little more information to go on.
Specifics of being cool, I wouldn't have summoned a fucking demon, would I? Jesus.
What's your language?
Look, I summoned you here, so give me what I want.
I'm not some genie. Demons aren't in the business of granting wishes, you know.
But
Bullshit. That's Islamic. Islamic demons are. Islamic genies do that. No, like real talk. Islamic genies will grant you wishes. They're like a monkey's paw almost. But that's an idea that you're dealing with lawful evil. They're the type of people who will abuse the fine print. So getting into that, I got some contact from that satanic woman. You know, the one a while back we were talking to. And she sent me this. So, you know, I will give her credit where credit is due. She did reply, but like a lawful evil person, she replied with the textbook and the company answer, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, so here we go, Luke. We're going to talk about the abortion ritual. Because apparently there's an abortion ritual for these things.
Oh,
but again...
Like ritual as in what you do, or ritual as in, like...
We'll just pay attention to this, because for all we know, this shit is... This is what she put out there. This is like the official satanic temple religious bullshit, whatever the hell it is.
What do we got here?
What do we got here? We got ourselves some fucking sophistry.
You want to keep up with them? You want their newsletter?
No, I gotta subscribe to their newsletter. No way. That'd be weird. Just for shits and giggles. That would be interesting. I don't know.
The Satanic Temple and the 3 R's, which is religious reproductive rights. Which I don't know why a person who worships Satan would want to care about rights, but here we go.
Because they're egotists and they just want to abuse the system because they're lawful evil.
Consistent with our tenets that call for bodily autonomy and acting in accordance with the best scientific evidence, whatever that is, The Satanic Temple religiously objects to many of the restrictions that states have enacted that irretrievably interfere with abortion access. TST is taking many steps on behalf of our members and those who share our beliefs to establish exemptions from laws that do not promote the health and safety of patients and violate our conscience and beliefs.
So this is very interesting. So they're coming at this from a perspective with the notion of negative rights. The law must leave me alone enough to do this. The law must allow me to do that. That's one of the things you have to understand. So that's how they're coming at this, right?
Oh, this next sentence is amazing.
Okay, go on.
The Satanic Temple is committed to supporting its LGBTQIA plus members. Bodily autonomy has been a central pillar of the Satanic Temple's mission since its founding. TST trans members of any age who need support, as well as any other members who feel targeted by marginalized, may contact us.
Oh boy, they feel targeted. Targeted.
What? I mean, unless there's a significant number of sexual assaults, how many members of the LGBT community needs a reproductive rights autonomy?
Okay, so I know, right? But like at the same time, like this is all framed in the context of abortion, right? It's not their body, is it?
No,
it's not. They're drinking for two, aren't they? They're drinking for two. So, this is where we're going to see where we're going to see the divergence between people who are individualistic and people who are egoic. That's why I wanted to bring this up to you, Luke.
Oh, here it is. Initiatives, the religious abortion ritual. What is this?
What is this?
The Satanic Temple's religious abortion ritual exempts TST members from the enduring medically unnecessary or unscientific regulations when seeking to terminate their pregnancy. The ritual involves the recitation of two of our tenets and the personal affirmation that is ceremonially intertwined with the abortion. Wow, they're pulling the "I have a religious exemption."
Which again, here's the thing. Let's suppose, for the sake of argument, you wanted to take Samhain off or like Halloween off, right? You want to take Ramadan or some sort of holiday off, right? You don't get the ability to, I don't have the right to force myself to get you to come to my mass, and you don't have a right to force me to go to your church, let alone I don't have a right to your fucking blood, right? But they're gonna fucking violate the right of that individual baby. Because my will be done, not thy will be done, right?
Right.
Yeah. So let's see what else we got here for some crazy shit here. What are crisis pregnancy centers? What the fuck are these?
What are crisis pregnancy centers? Crisis pregnancy centers, also known as, quote, pregnancy resource centers or, quote, pregnancy support centers, are structures that disguise themselves as abortion clinics to attract people who are dealing with unplanned or unwanted pregnancies. Wait. Structures
so
that
they're
disguise themselves as abortion. Well, wait. The centers often provide. They're disguised.
Wait. How are they disguised?
The centers often provide misinformation and promote a religious agenda to dissuade people from seeking abortion services. Centers are not HIPAA compliant, so they are not required to protect the information or identities of those who visit.
So they're not hip. So basically, what they're saying is,
so they're places you can go to have a pregnancy, or what?
Yeah, they're basically like going to the let's say the Catholic Church or something like that for like a battered women's shelter from the Catholic Church. They're not HIPAA. I'm like, come the fuck on. Like we're gonna really care about this shit now. You're gonna lawyer me.
Satans care about HIPAA.
They care about HIPAA, even though I have
HIPAA
never
compliance.
seen.
These
people.
Actually, this makes sense because demons love regulations. They love their bureaucrats.
No, devils love regulation. Yeah. Demons just want to destroy everything, But this is hilarious. This is like hell is a bureaucracy.
Yeah, C.S. Lewis was right. There are roughly 3,000 of these fake clinics in the United States. The Satanic Temple has created flyers that disclose these facts about crisis centers. The flyers are intended to be downloaded from our website so that volunteers can distribute them outside the fake clinics to people who might not be aware of our mission.
Fucking insane. Then, of course, they have the satanic abortion ritual. What the fuck is this? So, satanic abortion ritual is a destruction ritual. Oh, of course, it's a destruction ritual, right? That serves as a protective right. Now, it's a right as RITE, so not right as I have a right to do this, like might makes right or some shit.
Mhm.
Its purpose is to cast off notions of guilt, shame, and mental discomfort that a patient may be experiencing due to choosing to have a legal and medically safe abortion. Weird. All right, let's see what else they got. So, what do they get into where do they start talking about the actual ritual? Okay, here we go. Preparations. Before performing the ritual, you may choose to review the safety and debunk claims and scientific reality regarding abortion. You may also choose to read stories, listen to podcasts. Oh, they're basically giving you that chance to get out while you still can, essentially. They're giving you that free chance to those who want it. So implements. Quiet, safe place you feel comfortable. Something that allows you to see your reflection and imagine yourself. A copy of the satanic. Wow, these people are fucking narcissists. What else do we got here? Where is it? So procedures for medical abortions, for surgical abortions. Jesus Christ!
Let's see, how long is the abortion ritual legally protected? As federally recognized as a federally recognized religion. The Satanic Temple realizes this is just religion for atheists. This is nonsense.
And that's something that we have to look at this as. It's religion for atheists who are trying to push a political agenda.
Yeah, they don't hate. The thing is, they don't hate Christianity. They wish they were Christianity, and this is the closest thing they got to it.
Yep, it's sort of like a Marxist version of Christianity. It's collectivist. It really is. So they're defending the idea. They gained the idea of like super Saiyan to go fight evil Jesus Christ, right? Or Crystal Dragon Jesus Christ. That's what we're gonna LARP this shit out. So that's what they're trying to do, and they're trying to weaponize the religious faith, if you will. They're trying to weaponize the First Amendment, and they're trying to get the government to look the other way. Now, why is this important? Well, they're killing another human being. This is something that needs to be fought. It needs to be fought on the concept of principles, not of I'm a sex worker. I had a lot of sex. Okay. Well, you got into that you got into it. Now you have to suffer the natural consequences. And guess what? Part of the natural consequences is probably having a kid. If you don't know who the father is, that's your fault, not mine. Now say, she was raped. Okay. Well, before we continue down the whole, she was raped. Show me the fucking actual police report, because I guarantee you these are the type of people who will somehow magically think that fucking someone looking at you wrong is fucking rape. Because it's the same type of people, right? Same type of Tumblrette thinking. Anyhow. So I'm glad on that. Waffle Evil says bodily autonomy, great. Now let's talk about your vax mandates. They did have vax mandates for the longest time on this fucker.
Of course.
Because these are the type of people.
Nice little being soldiers.
Well, that's what they are. They're lawful evil. They're all lawful. They're no rebel. They wish they were the fucking rebel. They're no rebel. We're the rebels, you fucking cunts. We're the ones who actually move with our feet and vote with our wallets, So, for example, I got out of here because, this is the type of shit that I would expect from these type of people. There you go, look. This is something that I was actually surprised. I had to get a double take the first time I saw this. This is freaking freaky. This is what California is becoming to, and this is also how they're funding the racial reparations in California.
Oh yeah, this. Oh, the satanic ritual. Wait.
No. It's this one up here.
Oh, here it is. This one.
Yeah.
$230 million. That's how much Walgreens will have to pay the city of San Francisco after the pharmacy giant was found guilty of fueling the opioid epidemic. It's the largest settlement of any local government that has ever received ever since the epidemic began. KRON 4's Charles Clifford. It's not live. He's in San Francisco with more on this settlement and also what the city is going to be doing with all those millions of dollars. Charles, thanks for joining us.
Nothing, milady. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. They will not make a poo patrol. What they'll probably do is they'll probably just, give it to some drug addict. They'll have they'll fund a drug addict for mayor or something like that, which would actually be kind of interesting.
Even if these reparations go through, what guarantee do you have that the new recipients of these reparations are actually going to do anything good with them?
Or rather, what's to say they're not going to try to weaponize and say, oh, Arizona, or oh, Nevada, or oh, Washington, or oh, I guess it's Nebraska. I can't remember what's over in that side of the woods. What's to say that they try to weaponize this very same tactic? I mean, Walgreens, from what I understand, is a not even a multinational. It's like it's in multiple states. Okay, so this is hurting like everyone's pie. But 230 million, dude, that's a lot. Keep going.
Yeah, well, the city, San Francisco, had accused Walgreens of, over the course of a decade, selling hundreds of millions of doses of opioids, which they didn't do due diligence on checking the prescriptions for, which contributed to the opioid problem in San Francisco. A federal judge agreed last year, and now Walgreens is going to have to pay.
Good morning.
On Wednesday morning, San Francisco City Attorney David Chu announced that the city and Walgreens have reached an agreement in which the pharmacy chain will pay the city $230 million, spread out over the next 14 years. Back in 2018, the city sued drug makers and distributors, accusing them of fueling the opioid epidemic in San Francisco. In 2022, a judge ruled in the city's favor and said that Walgreens...
They're accusing Walgreens of fueling the opioid epidemic, which even then I'm like, what the fuck are they taking? What are they actually giving? There would be an opioid that's over the counter in Walgreens, and if it's not over the counter, then shut the fuck up. Like that's like the only thing I could think of. Like if it's an opioid that's over the counter, but if it's not over the counter, I don't want to hear about it. That you have a prescription, you're literally just you just so happen to be in the neighborhood who can fill my subscription, so to speak. Keep going. Yeah.
...were dispensed and failed to investigate suspicious prescriptions for the drug.
The evidence presented at trial made it clear that Walgreens, the dominant retail pharmacy chain in San Francisco, which had a history of failing to comply with federal regulations, filled a significant volume of illegitimate opioid prescriptions.
The city now plans to use the settlement money to help those suffering from addiction.
This is money our city will have over the next 15 years to alleviate the crisis, to get people the help they need, and to address the tragic suffering.
I'm sure involving $1 million toilets.
Well, they're gonna have they have to have those self-cleaning toilets, because how else are they gonna be Night City, dude?
As if they would be self-cleaning. That's too luxurious.
I hate to be the guy. Actually, they're not even Night City. If it was Night City, it'd be like Anarcho-Capistan, right? This actually might be like actual corpos buying off other corpos. This is corporate warfare, and it just so happens that Walgreens got the bad end of the stick. Yeah. Let's keep going.
In addition to the Walgreens agreement, the city has also secured settlements from other drug makers and distributors, resulting in a total of more than $350 million. All right, back live now. The city also got settlements from Walmart and CVS, as well as drug distributors Johnson & Johnson and McKesson, but by far the Walgreens settlement was the largest. But for now, in San Francisco, Charles Clifford, Cron 4 News.
Shit. But besides the going ons in San Francisco, we got other things that are going on in San Jose, my old hometown. Here you go. Yep. Guess what's happening? Ever since I left, everything has been going worse and worse and worse for them.
So it's a good thing you're here, then.
It's a good thing I'm here. Hopefully, I can find a work soon, or better work, rather.
I'm sure it'll work, but let's see how bad it is in your old homestead.
Yep.
San Jose is no longer in the top 10 largest cities in the U.S. According to new census data, thousands of people have picked up and moved out of San Jose. Of course, Justin Campbell reports on why so many people are leaving and how the mayor is responding.
Mayor Mahan not happy to hear this news.
This guy.
People are leaving the city for two reasons: housing and the quality of life.
I think it's a wake-up call to the whole region.
San Jose is losing residents, according to new 2022 census.
What's equality of life?
Basically, can you go out on the weekends, or are you so poor that you have to live with your house and basically do Netflix and chill?
Oh.
That's all you could do.
Okay.
This data.
Yep.
Roughly 50,000 people have left the city since before the pandemic.
Why they're leaving, it's the challenges that I'm focused on. It's high cost of living, and it's quality of life issues, including homelessness, crime, blight.
The largest city in the Bay Area used to be the 10th largest in the country, with just under 1 million residents. It's now at number 12, behind Austin, Texas, and Jacksonville, Florida.
The Sun Belt has been growing Austin is a city that, yes, has gotten more expensive lately, but has built a lot of homes. Same goes for Florida. Florida has been one of the leading home builders among states in the last several years.
Oh,
Jeff
this
Tucker,
guy.
a senior economist with Zillow, says more homes need to be built in San Jose to help ease housing prices.
A lot of those young families don't really see a future of settling down and being able to afford to stay put in San Jose.
Well, I
itself.
could.
Frankly, even
I
those
did.
working in the tech industry are struggling to afford it there.
Tucker says the census data goes hand in hand with Zillow data. He says 2/3 of people from San Jose searching for homes on Zillow are looking to buy elsewhere.
Ooh,
Look at that shit.
800,000, a million, 1.6 million.
There's a lot. Like, I'm not kidding when I say they have some very beautiful houses over there, but at the same time, like, this is the same city that had a burnt down lot essentially for a house, sold $500,000.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what we're dealing with. Sheesh. DK, hopefully you get rid of the scum in Arizona. Hobbs is a psycho. Well, let me say this: Carrie Lake is doing fairly well. With like, again, I was a little bit skeptical. I thought she was actually going to go and try to continue to push and fight to the point where she basically says, "Oh, look, now we're going to get her in the next election," and everyone would be like just getting and looking at it. She would basically be ginning up enough turmoil for the next election, hopefully, or enough buzz, if that makes any sense. A waffle evil. No point in building new houses while you aren't allowed to build multi-family housing. Yeah, exactly. There's no point. And even then, most of those houses they're going to build are going to be, apartments, shoebox apartments, like fucking little rat's nests, rat cages. Let's see what else we got here.
Yeah, I'm comparing these homes to my home, and like they're double or triple what my house is worth.
Shit. Well, again, worth is something totally different. And then, of course, this one got a little close to home. Willow Glen Middle School got popped. Yeah, someone brought a loaded gun to the school. So like that. Yeah, but here's the thing. I just want to share that a little bit here because I knew some friends that went there, and I never had, not in like my entire freaking 4 years there at the middle school / high school, whatever, did they ever bring a firearm. I never saw that happen. This is an escalation.
The kids not know better, or are they just trying to get into trouble?
It's called multiculturalism. You have the gang culture.
Oh yeah, the multiculturalism, right?
Oh yeah, it's the gang culture. Yeah, it is. Like, and that's all you have to say. And then anyone who acts like a gangster should be punished, and that includes the Italians who think that's they're doing their Bugsy Siegel impression. Keep going.
Who is that guy who once said a lot of people get assaulted in Detroit for reasons we cannot say?
I do not recall, but that sounds like Tim Pool.
No, it's, who is the guy? I'll have to remember it later.
And other news tonight, a high school student has been arrested after police say he brought a loaded ghost gun to camp.
What's it around? Oh,
a ghost gun.
What?
A ghost gun. It's a fucking racial slur against certain black guns of good character. Let's say.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a spook gun.
Willow Glen High School in San Jose.
Police say there is no current threat to the school or to the public, but as Cron 4's Gail Ong tells us, parents and students are calling the situation terrifying.
It's like
oh no, they're not.
Over the speaker saying that there's a lock in place. It was scary.
It's not scary. It's not scary at all. What are you fucking talking about? Like, you guys get the day off. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, maybe Zoomers are just fucked up. But whenever this type of crap happened in my day, we're like, yay, we get the day off. We don't have to fucking go do math.
Oh, Ramsey Paul, that's who that was.
Oh, Ramsey Paul? Fuck. Oh, that guy. He's funny. He's all right. Keep going.
Middle school, describing the moment when the campus was ordered to shelter in place after reports of a student with a gun was seen at Willow Glen High School next door.
We just barricaded. They put tables up, chairs up. People were crying, praying.
His mother, Kim, rushed from work to pick him up.
Really just shaken up. When I got the message, the first thing, I just couldn't wait to get to them as soon as I could. I work in Palo Alto, so the drive here, I was just racing to get to them as soon as I could.
Oh, bullshit.
Just before...
She works in Palo Alto, so she's barely some fucking, upper middle class woman. because she's getting a job at Palo Alto. If you know anything about Palo Alto, especially Los Altos is like Beverly Hills for frickin' for the leftist, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so like and that like I can kind of give you the region, the lay of the land, because I know that place so well. So like Alum Rock is like where all the ghetto crap is, like the industrial side of town. You got Sunnyvale, which is where all the like old tech sites are. Then you got San Jose, which is more of the city proper. And then you have, I want to say, Los Altos. What's the other one? Saratoga. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Los Gatos is another one. The cats. Cats are always fun. Keep going.
For noon Wednesday, Willow Glen High School was placed on lockdown. The San Jose Unified School District notified parents about the situation. According to San Jose Police, 2 school resource officers arrested a teenage boy and confiscated a loaded ghost gun.
Look at that. Go back. I want to look at the loadout. So let's see. It looks like one of those Ruger guns. It looks like one of those fucking Ruger. I guess it would be dagger. I guess it would be mini dagger. So this guy's coming at you with a freaking buck knife and I guess a 24 magazine, which again he should have a right. He has every right to have that 24 rounder.
Now in California, he doesn't.
Well, the Californians are wrong.
California. Well, that's obvious, but
well, they are. I mean, we all know they're wrong. But what I'm really surprised is the guy has a threaded barrel. So that kid's going away for a long time. Ooh. Forget the freaking scary features of a big magazine and a big knife. He has a threaded barrel. He was going to go fucking Agent 47 on this.
But are you sure? What's the race of the student?
Let's find out.
Or not find out. We'll know.
Well, we got ourselves 50 seconds. We'll figure it out.
Well, it was a total surprise that that kind of an incident actually occurred here. It's a relatively quiet neighborhood, and we don't get like these types of incidents often.
The incident comes a day after the school was put under a shelter-in-place order. A school district spokesperson says someone reported a suspicious person on campus.
As a society, to make this stop, I mean, it's too close to home. It's just scary.
I'm just really grateful that nothing worse happened than this.
And the school district adds counselors will be available at both schools if any students want to talk about the incident.
Gay long.
So they heard a rumor that there was a gun on campus and they successfully confiscated it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they basically they did a forcible search on those kids, sadly.
Oh.
Kids are pussies these days.
Well, you should.
Yep.
I mean, you shouldn't have guns on campus. So
it's the Mormons. Yes, it is the Mormons. The Mormons are probably. I don't know. I don't know what it is. The Mormons. I will give you that. Whenever something happens, blame the Mormons.
They're the least likely people to carry guns.
Are you sure they'll carry a 1911
in schools? In schools, that is.
Probably. But besides schools, we'll get ready for cultural enrichment because they never told us what the guy was or who the student was. But this will give you an idea of what we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready to be culturally enriched.
Oh no!
Oh yes.
Oh, where are we?
It's been 1 full week since the expiration of Title 42. That's the pandemic-era border policy that allowed authorities to turn away migrants.
They're taking down Trump's illegal wall.
They are, yeah, and now the flood of mud will come in. I'm gonna be nice. I'm not gonna be mean.
Hopefully, Arizona's ready for it.
Yeah.
But California,
hopefully.
Nah.
I will personally be a Minuteman before I acknowledge that I was one of these people. Keep going.
Migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border.
One South Bay school is expecting a flood of migrants in its classrooms as soon as this summer. KRON 4's Justin Campbell spoke to the school's executive director about their biggest concerns.
We're really concerned about...
Patricia Regarin is the executive director of Escuela Popular, the San Jose charter school founded by her mother in 1986 to serve immigrant families.
So we are designed to meet the specific needs.
The school teaches English to help integrate migrants into American culture. Parents and students can come to school together and learn as one. On average, the school gets 1,000 students each day, but starting as early as this summer, they're expecting to teach 300 more students each day.
It looks like someplace in that looks like the place in Santa Clara, I believe. It's over by a graveyard area. It's over near downtown, near Channel Fireballs. Keep going. Yeah.
Each 300 more students each day.
It's very doable for us. Again, the strain has been being able to continue to keep the teachers that we have.
Renegade says the biggest challenge will be just finding someone to teach them.
Right now, with the teacher shortage and the passage of AB 1505, it's made it more and more difficult to keep talented teachers in the classroom.
Renegade says they need some...
What was that law again?
Which one? Keep going.
AB, what was it? It was.
What is it?
Yeah, that one law she said.
Keep talented teachers in the classroom. The passage of AB 1505.
AB 1505. What's that?
Let's look that one up, and I'm going to read some more in the chat. DK says they can stay in Tucson, Arizona. Maybe dump them in Flagstaff since the hippies there keep voting for this. Oh, Flagstaff is where all the hippies are. Like, I've noticed. Like, let me just say this: I don't know the lay of the land very well out here, and I'm trying my hardest to like adapt, like to try to hold that same like I buy local, I walk the places because I do walk a lot, even though I'm in the desert, right? I've noticed a disproportionate amount, DK, of like hippie girls. Like I'm not like another girl type of chicks. Like the type of woman like in the that we had for the I'll send it to you, Luke, real quick. This type of chick who uses this type of rhetoric and language. Here you go. As I call it, the magical pixie dream girl. This one. I've seen more of these types in Arizona of any kind. I don't see SJWs all out. I just see these type of people who are prone to magical thinking. I absolutely refuse to waste my magic on anyone who can't see how rare I am.
That probably explains why I went to a gun show. They actually had little crystals for sale.
Maybe. I mean, there's some who will buy them. I mean, I might buy them. Difference here is I buy them as a component for something else, you know. So what do you got for the
let's see. According to this, let's see. Assembly Bill 1505 says charter schools pensions and renewals. So let's see. The Charter Schools Act authorizes the establishment and operation of charter schools. Existing law generally requires a petition to establish charter schools and submission to the board under circumstances. Existing law authorizes the county board of the education to approve a petition for operation of a charter school. Existing law prohibits the governing board of a school district from denying a petition to establish a charter school unless it makes written factual findings supporting one or more specific findings. Existing law authorizes. This bill would revise and recast numerous provisions relating to the submission of petitions of established charter schools, the appeal to county boards of education and the state board, and decisions of the governing boards of the school boards in denying approval, renewals, blah, 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 and the revocation of charter schools and authorities. Oh, so they've basically changed how charter schools can exist in California now.
Yeah, so they're basically doing that to mess with people. Sedona is another one. Conco Reno County is a hub with hippies. Oh God, you know, honestly, the hippie chicks I might like, but even then, like disproportionate of them are probably tattooed up. And like the easiest way to deal with hippies is if they're tattooed up, stay away from them.
Mm-hmm.
They're like it's like the hordes of chaos with their little tattoos and shit.
It's a canvas with graffitied. It's horribly tattered.
Oh, that's actually a good way of putting it. Speaking of putting it a good way, well, for all the talk about, we're losing jobs, well, guess what, Luke?
Are we?
We are losing jobs. Jobs were Google and Meta and Amazon.
Jobs, you mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, you could still work, but you want an important job. Oh no, no important jobs for you, my good friend.
Yep, no important job for you. So Google, Meta, Amazon is hiring low-paid H-1B visa workers after U.S. layoff reports. According to this report, Google swiftly filed H-1B visa applications for international H-1B hires, including software engineers, consultants, researchers, and various other roles, just a month after Sundar Pichai. Yeah, he's a Pichai as announcements of the company's plan to cut 12,000 jobs. So that basically means what they're doing is they're gonna take 12,000 jobs, divide it by 8, and then they're gonna have like one. How many? Let me just think about it like this: how many coders does it take to create a program, Luke?
How many?
Well, imagine a number and then imagine dividing it up by 8 and then basically having one person control one side of the keyboard, the other person control the other side of the keyboard. You employ them all 8 of them, and now you've created wealth. You've created jobs. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with people who will basically put out spaghetti code. But the Americans who want to just live a life and work and not have a family and not have all their life revolved around work, well, they're getting kicked out.
Well, to be fair, Google, Meta, and Amazon are high-tech companies that have been overstaffed anyway.
Well, yeah, but also the problem here is that where's the legacy knowledge going to go? Where are all the people who worked in the early 2000s and 2010s or so? They're retiring soon. A lot of these guys were retiring, and when they retired, where's all that legacy knowledge going to go? It's going to be sucked up. This is brain drain that's happening to us right now. And it's all because these H-1B visa holders are deliberately destroying our jobs. They're destroying them. They're taking them. And it's not right because these people did not get there through meritocracy. They're only getting there specifically because they're cheap. They're slave labor. So they're basically getting rid of people who actually can, fight back and say, no, I want to have a wage for this. I think it's worth this. And then, you're not? Okay, well, I'm going to go find another job. Here's what they'll do. $15 an hour. You will do $15 an hour and you will have a 14-hour shift every day. Good luck.
You're welcome to it. They're welcome to it. Ugh.
No, they're not even welcome to it. It's the fact that they don't have a choice. You either do it or you go back to the third world and they'll replace you with somebody else. That's what you have to understand, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, so going back to the whole Russian thing, I was watching Bill Whittle, and I swear, Bill Whittle is so fucking base. He's getting it. He gets it. They all get it. Because, let's see if I can find it here, Luke. It's probably about I'd say, 7 minutes in, 7.5 minutes in. Bill says it very well. Go ahead.
It was just the cook and Lenin and his sister.
Here it is.
He went. Vladimir Putin was not born in St. Petersburg. Vladimir Putin was born in Leningrad. And what many people don't know is that Lenin was a loner, not a people person. After he was shot, assassination attempt on his life by Fanny Kaplan, he went to a small, bigger than a dacha, but smaller than a mansion, called Gorky. And he had 6 staff members there. He had 4 bodyguards, he had a secretary, and he had a cook. That cook lived with Vladimir Lenin for 2-3 years when nobody else had access. It was just the cook and Lenin and his sister and his wife, Krupskaya. And after Lenin died, that cook was deemed to be so loyal and so safe that Stalin took the cook into his own compound, and the cook lived with Stalin for 35 years. And that cook's name was Spiridon Putin, Vladimir Putin's grandfather. Vladimir was 13 when Spiridon died. And so you got to understand that Vladimir Putin was sitting on the knee of the guy who had the most intimate ringside seat on the rise and fall of the Soviet Union than any other person living or dead. No one lived with Lenin. No one lived with Stalin. He lived with both of them. And if you don't understand that about him, we look at the Soviet system as an atrocity and a monstrosity because that's what it was. For Vladimir Putin, this was the shining city on a hill. This is his ideal. And the Soviets were not widely known for being extra careful about preserving the lives of their own citizens. And
they don't give a damn. They don't give a fuck. They will literally just march their men and their women into fucking. Well, they'll actually whore out their women and basically make them be good earners for them online from some fucking. They will, yeah. Sadly, gotta liberate the pussy. We do. We have to go liberate the Slavic pussy. That's what's going to happen. But Ukrainian boys, you're going to get to have your first shot at it. Don't betray your freaking your significant other. But keep going, Luke.
Doing that today either.
Oh man.
Can I just throw one more thing?
Yeah, please.
Because I have a Russian wife and I get access to firsthand accounts of what Russian people hear and so on. If you listen to the state media, and a lot of Russians do, they're convinced that this is a battle for Russia's very survival now. that the entire thing was orchestrated by NATO and the United States and Great Britain, designed that the entire reason there's a war is because of NATO encroachment and all of these other things. And for a country that invaded Hungary in 56 and Czechoslovakia in 68 and Poland in 80 and whose communist armies left North Korea into the south in 1950, left North Vietnam into the south in early 1960s, the Russian people seem to be amazed that there's a defensive alliance out there designed to stop their aggression, and they justify their aggression based on the fact that they're encircled. So they're in a bit of a pickle as far as their psychology is concerned.
Yeah, and the thing that gets me, Bill, to kind of add on that is I was never in favor of NATO expansion. You can read stuff about it going way back. I was always against it. But that said, NATO didn't conquer any countries. NATO expansion was former Warsaw Pact countries, former Soviet-dominated countries like Hungary and Poland knocking down the door to get let in to NATO.
Yeah,
and now
because it's an abusive relationship. One of the things that the Soviets would do is they oftentimes would gentrify a Russian republic or Soviet republic, right? So what they'll do is they'll bring in a bunch of native Russians over to Romania or to Ukraine or to Poland. And they would basically say, we are the majority. We are the ones who get to speak for you. We're more equal than you are. And they would basically have a red aristocracy, so to speak. That's what would happen. There would be they would literally discriminate based on race in some regards. Now, granted, sometimes they would integrate, but ultimately they wanted to have people who they could bribe, that Moscow could bribe, so to speak. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Waffle Evil says, as an American, you can't compete with a Chinese in China. You can't. You absolutely couldn't. Also, why should Americans compete with the rest of the world? They shouldn't have to. And even then, he's going back to the whole H-1B visa thing. It's not. He says it's not just losing legacy on tech, but it's also the trades. Few people will know how a city sewage system or electrical will work. Yeah, exactly. It's like the Tau. It's like the Tau from Warhammer 40K. These people who I swear to you, I've actually seen the caste systems pop up in tech. I've actually seen actual caste discrimination going on, who's that fuel? That fuels the SJW. So they benefit from it to a certain degree. They have work now. Anyone who doesn't regret the passing of the Soviet Union has no heart. Anyone who wants to restore the Soviet Union has no brain. Well, I guess Putin doesn't have a brain. That would be Dugin. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so here's one for us, Luke. Now, do you know? Now, just for those who want to know, here's some racial slurs, so to speak. These are racial. It's a racial slur database. And I wanted to bring this up because if you just keep this up real quick.
What is this? What's this?
This is a list of racial slurs against Russian people. Look, notice how PUP Popov, I think it's called. It's a cheap brand of vodka.
Popinski.
Popov. Yeah. Now keep that in mind when you're watching this clip, because we're gonna end it here soon. Coming up here. There you go. This is I don't know. This is incredibly offensive. Let me just say that the Russians are making fun of their own people, and given the shape of this guy's head, like the physiognomy of this guy, he kind of might be a little bit. He might be a bit of a Lenny. Let's just say.
Massive. And his power by Yevgeny Popov and Russia.
Popov.
He's a fucking racial slur. Popov. No. He's named when you are so fucked when you are the guy who's named after a cheap fucking vodka. Let's keep watching.
News program. Mr. Popov, thank you very much indeed for joining me. Why is Russia losing war?
Let me correct you, Pierce, and thank you for giving me your floor.
Oh, he's trying to act like he's fresh.
Party Russia. I am in a faction parliamentary in the Russian Duma of United Russia. And of course, I'm for Vladimir Putin, especially right now. Russia is not losing the war. Of course, we can see Europe plans to make an offense to our territory, to our troops, to Russian cities inside my country, but we're gonna fight for security guarantees for Russian people on Donbass? Because you told a lot of stories today, but you didn't tell the main story.
You didn't tell the correct truth, Luke. He didn't tell the correct truth.
So he's not there to answer the question, is he?
He's not there to answer the question, is he? But then again, you got two people who basically are. We have one ideologue, and they have one. Like, why did he even choose to come on? That's the real question. Did you really think he was gonna hand Piers Morgan, the British gentleman, his ass with a cup of tea? Maybe, I don't know. Keep going.
People have been injured in Horlivka in Donbass. One people was killed by Ukrainian bomb in Donetsk today. Many people have been injured in Kherson territory. But you only see and you only cover one side.
Well, no, hang on. Let me stop you there. The real story, if you want the real story, Russia invaded Ukraine, democratic sovereign country, which is now a democracy. They legally invaded it over. Assumed it would just run it over in a few days. Met extraordinary resistance from Ukrainian people, and has spent the next year and a bit committing war crimes, acts of utter barbarism against the Ukrainian people, deliberately targeting maternity, shelling people in, committing mass murder all over Ukraine. That's the real story.
That's the real story for you because you live in the myths. Because
you don't have the gnosis that he has.
Did
Luke, he
doesn't know that this guy was going to do this.
I don't actually know if he did, but I'll tell you this: it's Sky News, so take it with a grain of salt, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the British equivalent of Fox, I guess.
I've always heard good things about Sky News. I don't actually know if they're any good or not, but I've heard some fairly good things from them.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
Journalist, because we used to live in New York at the same time, and I well remember you on CNN, and you've been great journalist, great interviewer. But let me answer your questions. If you're talking to me about real situation, but I can tell you about real situation.
Tell us about the real situation.
Yesterday, we lifted ban on direct flights between Georgia.
Agent Popov is seen as a mouthpiece for the Kremlin.
He's a mouthpiece, all right.
Perfect title beneath his name.
And Russia. What was the United States response? They told Tbilisi, the real democratic government of sovereign country, that they can't fly to Russia. Georgians can't fly to Russia. We canceled visa regime with Georgia. What the United States told us. Not to us.
Hang on. With respect, you're not talking about what I just explained to you. It's a real story. Why did Russia illegally invade Ukraine? Why is Russia committing endless war crimes in Ukraine? Why is Russia kidnapping tens of thousands of Ukrainian children and taking them out of the country? Why are you as a country doing all these things? Why is Vladimir Putin behaving like a brazen dictator who thinks he can just seize country and kill anyone that gets in his way? They're the questions I want you to answer. Have any answer?
What question you want me to respond first?
Why did you illegally invade Ukraine?
We didn't invade Ukraine. I can tell you a long story.
What?
We didn't invade Ukraine. It was a special exercise, don't you know, Luke? He's going to play the same. It was a special operation. It was a military operation. We didn't invade it.
Are you... What? Come on, we saw it. We all saw it.
We all saw it. I mean, I bet money on it, you know? I bet many that we are going to get you guys out of there.
I mean, did the Ukraine invade Russia and and we just came in late, or what?
These people are fucking stupid. But he's going to get he's going to get his shekels. Don't you worry, because or his rubles, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll get his rupees.
But you clearly invaded Ukraine.
Ukrainian government. I can tell you a lot of stories which I've been seeing by my own eyes on Donbass, how Ukrainian army still killing many Russians on Donbass territory.
The Ukrainian people.
Yeah, right now. I mean, you're in a state of war. That's not really an argument against them.
No, it's not. It really is. Oh boy, KLMINP's doing this witch hunt for Chinese spies. I was gonna say, if it was a witch hunt, if he starts doing the whole like apologies for Satanism shit again, we'll talk. We might actually do what do they call it? Screen. We'll mirror cast that at some point. Keep going.
Ukrainian people, led by President Zelensky, are defending themselves against what has resembled, on occasion, genocidal behavior by Russia.
If
I
you're
don't
not
use that
gonna
phrase
listen to
lightly.
me,
I went to
you can
Bucha.
listen.
I went to Bucha, for example, in Kyiv, and saw for myself the scene of the massacre. I talked to people who lost relatives in the massacre. That was a war crime, and Vladimir Putin and others involved in this are going to be held accountable to it. I simply ask you again: why did Russia illegally invade Ukraine? And now that it's been going on for nearly a year and a half, and it was supposed to last 3 days, when are you going to accept this has been a total fiasco, disaster for Russia? We saw the pathetic scene of the victory rate of one tank, which presumably is all you've got left to show off when you're. When are you going to stop the killing and the murder?
You're like Tucker Carlson. You're mono.
That's not an insult. That's a compliment.
This guy's having fun. He's freaking out. I mean, let's be frank. His name's Popov. What the fuck? He's a racial slur against all the Slavs. Keep going.
It's not a monologue. I'm just telling you some cold, hard facts.
This is not a fact. You don't know facts because I have heard your questions. Because this story have began many years before our invasion to Ukraine.
Or when you invaded Crimea, you mean?
You should study history.
I know when you invaded Crimea, yeah. You illegally invaded Crimea in 2014, and then you illegally invaded.
He's turning red. Keep going, Luke.
On the history of what you've been doing. I didn't Donbass. I've been in Crimea. I've seen everything by my own eyes. You know, and I can tell you.
Hard times create strong Slavs. Strong Slavs create hard times. The history repeats itself.
Well, Mark's actually commented on this. When history repeats, it's a tragedy, but when it repeats a second time, it's farce.
I guess so.
Yeah, but you don't think that Russia invaded Ukraine. Therefore, you're living in a totally deluded world. It doesn't exist because obviously Russia invaded Ukraine. Everybody saw, the whole world saw it. So you called it a special operation. The special operation turned out to be a complete disaster, didn't it? And now you're losing. And even the Wagner mercenary group is calling Putin a moron.
Can I answer you?
Yeah.
Can I respond?
If you can.
Of course I can.
I don't think it's funny. Popov, you might.
It's not funny.
I don't think the slaughter and the maiming of thousands and thousands of innocent civilians in Ukraine is funny. Sorry, I don't.
As Russia can say any word. I, as Russian people, as my state, can say a word that we can't explain what happens because you live in a myth. You live in this Western stereotypes. You should respond on your war crimes. You should give arrest warrants to Tony Blair, to George Bush for Iraq. You should give
for one
arrest warrant for Obama for Iran.
Okay, stop. Hang on. For what it's worth, I led the campaign.
He's like a child. Look at the way he's acting. He's acting like a fucking child.
This is what this is what political discourse is, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
He looks so. He looks like he's in pain, like he's about to cry. He's gonna cry. Keep going.
Against the Iraq War, I felt that was. Well, hang on. Let me finish. I thought that was an illegal invasion country, not dissimilar to what we've been seeing in Ukraine from Russia. No. And I'm not afraid, Mr. Popov, to admit that I think my country behaved illegally with that invasion. Are you prepared to admit that your country illegally invaded Ukraine?
Your Prime Minister to behind the bars? You didn't do that.
Are you prepared to admit your country illegally invaded Ukraine?
That's completely false.
Can we both agree that they invaded, whether it's legally or illegally invaded? Because let's be frank, I don't think there's actually a legality behind invasion. I don't think there's like an actual like state like the UN will say, okay, you can invade. I really don't think that's the case. And even when we went into like Iraq, like there were like certain powers that were like, okay, we're not really interested in this. Just saying. Keep going.
Popov, if you can't, honestly, if you're going to deny the obvious, then we're going to have to leave it there. I appreciate you joining.
Let's see what else we got here besides that. Alrighty, besides that, what else we got? Luke, you got anything you want to share?
News-wise, just last words-wise.
News-wise, let's say.
Nothing right now, actually.
It's challenging. Really? All right.
Is there something I missed, or what happened in Arizona? Well, aside from let's see, Carrie. Well, it's hard. Nothing's gonna really, and we're not sure if anything's gonna come of it. But Carrie Lake's having her day in court.
Yeah, which is good, because let me just say this: at this point, the cynic in me is basically saying, okay, I believe that Carrie Lake is either ginning up, more support for her next run if she decides to run again, which I think she will. Waffle says we might not get any summer this year in Europe. Mount Etna erupted. Oh God! Like
really?
Well, what's interesting is we have zombies in LA apparently, and I'm not trying to one up you. I mean, we legitimately had zombies. Let's see if I can find it here. LA zombies. Why didn't we bring this up? Why wasn't this part of the original? Let's see if I can find it here. Actual LA zombies. Okay, here we go. Here we go, Luke. We're gonna have some fun. This is more of just interacting with what?
What's this?
This is a zombie drug. We're gonna raid to the grave. The crocodile.
Oh, I remember this. Making a comeback or something?
Oh, it's making a comeback in a hard way.
Ooh. Oh, this is
this
is not a good drug. No.
No, it is not.
LA monitoring rise of the flesh-rotting zombie drug. Oh boy.
It's a horse tranquilizer.
Let's see.
Play it.
Let's see, where are we? Oh, the video?
Yeah, play the video.
Okay,
yeah, I want to hear the video.
Where'd the volume go? Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, drug traditionally used to sedate animals is being mixed with fentanyl and sold on the street. It's considered so dangerous it rots people's skin. Trank dope is a mix of fentanyl and xylazine, that is. Overdoses of the drug spiking across the country year over year, and some
100,000%. Oh wow.
The South. Oh boy. Like, let me just say this. Like, you Southern boys need to get yourself a hobby of some kind, because if you're doing dope all the time because there's nothing else to do, like, I understand if you had no resources, I get that. And I'm talking about actual, like, plywood and nails and things like that. I get that. But what the hell is going on in the South? Wow. 1,000%. What the fuck happened? No, look at that. Like, from 2021 to 2020, from 2020 to 2021, shut up. Like, what the fuck happened? Let's keep finding out.
Cases over 1,000%. Frank Rodriguez is a former addict and now a business owner in Philadelphia. He joins us now live. Frank, thanks again for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Ashley, and thank you for having me.
Of course. So tell us, what you've seen people who have taken this drug. What's it doing to them?
It's crazy what it's doing. It's producing these open sores that are it's eating their flesh basically. It's finding the easiest way out, the path of least resistance, and that is coming straight out through the flesh and eating their skin. It's horrible.
Oh, that is horrible. Oh,
it's horrible. It's horrible, and it's turning them into like zombies, flesh bags. It's fucking weird.
The zombies can't feel it. Can these guys feel the crawling through their bodies? Like, oh,
I don't want to know.
Is it eating their nerves away?
Maybe. That actually is a good question. Keep going.
Are they taking this in a pill form? Is it injected? Is it smoked? How are they doing this, and how are they getting a hold of it?
So, right now in the streets of Philly, you can buy bags of fentanyl mixed with
Wait a second. Is this only in LA?
This isn't. No. LA is concerned about the rise of the new zombie drug.
And xylazine, that is, overdoses of the drug spiking across the country.
Okay. I was a little concerned it was only in one place.
Well, no, we have fucking zombies, murder hobos, and apparently we have like a bunch of weird shit in California. But it's turning into a magical place, unfortunately.
The worst possible. It's like a dark magic place. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of am a evil character that kind of has turned good. I mean, I look back at all my friends from high school, and a lot of them, like half of them the women are all single mothers, sadly. And like, do you know what Austin Powers is, Luke?
Austin Powers?
Yeah, I told you about this before when we were at the buffet.
That's a thing. I don't.
Well, it could have been that or Dan the Man. Because apparently, and the thing that got me was that this woman was so used to getting eaten out. Apparently, that's what you spell. You use your tongue to spell Austin Powers. You figure it out, chat. And I'm thinking to myself, she's that fucking sensitive that she understands it.
You can still feel the difference.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like there are people, like I can feel people tap on my shoulder, and that's about it. I'm dead into that shit. I'm not a zombie drug guy, but I'm dead. I have dead nerves. Okay, I don't even understand if someone would just spell Austin Powers on my back or something. Keep going.
It's absolutely horrible. I'm telling you, when you're in a group of 3 or 4 people, you can smell rotting flesh, and you know that at least one of them is suffering from these open sores, and it almost looks like, for lack of a better term, like The Walking Dead, the zombies that you see. That's what it's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, what I read said it's literally turning humans into zombies. And when you talk about it being a sedative, it's a sedative for cows and horses. My question to you is, are the addicts the only ones taking this?
So that's the thing. This doesn't discriminate. It's getting to not only the addicts but also innocent victims, people that are, there's no such thing as experimenting with drugs anymore because of the cost that comes with using. You're finding that
when I was a kid, I never thought there was such a thing as experimenting. I thought
there's no such thing.
No, thank you. I don't want any of that stuff near me.
Well, like you might have an argument if you had a contact high or something like that, but like they're not getting a contact high, are they? No, like they're injecting this shit in.
Yeah, yes.
Go on.
What were you saying?
You could get a contact high if you smoked like weed or something. You're not gonna get a contact high for like sharing needles or some shit. Keep going.
a lot of people that are first-time user, not only injecting, but also, it comes in pill form also, that are having these side effects, as even as high as death, obviously.
Right. Now, it's also Narcan resistant, which, everything you've described is scary enough as it is, but the fact that it is resistant to Narcan, do you know why that is?
Yes. So, everything that I know of it, it's sort of a synthetic opiate. So Narcan is treating one thing, and it's also in the class of.
Let me just say this: this guy is not a street drug expert. He's just a former addict who's a business owner. He's actually quite freaking knowledgeable on this subject. Like, he's just a business owner who is a former addict, right? That's actually I'm not actually surprised on this.
Narcan would have no effect. There's been plenty of times where I've narcon people to try to bring them back, and it does absolutely nothing from them. And you would think, from the symptoms that they're having, you would think that they're experiencing an overdose to an opiate, and it does absolutely nothing to them.
And while you were talking, before I let you go, I just have to mention this: overdose deaths in Pennsylvania from Trank in 2015 was 2%. Now in 2020 it jumped to 26%. So clearly this has been around for at least 7 or 8 years. I'm sure it's before then, but this is when.
I remember back when Vice Documentaries did a video on this.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, that's why I first heard about it. Like, that Vice was really good making these documentaries on this stuff.
Well, yeah, because they're the ones who actually have like drug addicts in their freaking Well, they had Tim Pool, and they probably had that fucker from what the hell is Tim Pool's not Krigler, what the hell's his name? The other one. Yeah, Adam. Yeah, the other Adam. Not the Krigler, but the other one. The one that was on drugs all the time. You know the one I'm talking about.
I forget.
Ian? Yeah, Ian, I think his name is. I don't fucking know. I don't watch a lot of the people anymore on either side of the freaking political aisle. I don't watch Sargon. I don't watch Tim. I don't watch anybody at this point who's from the older meme war patch or crop, if that makes any sense. There's no reason to watch them. They're basically going to say the same thing that you think they're going to say. They have no new takes, and they ultimately, there's nothing to be added. Anyhow, Luke, any final thoughts?
We have the physically challenged. Is that a grotesque enough evasion for you? How about differently abled? I've heard them call that differently abled. You can't even call these people handicapped anymore. They'll say, we're not handicapped, we're handy-capable. These poor people have been bullshitted by the system into believing that if you change the name of the condition, somehow you'll change the condition. Well, hey, cousin, doesn't happen.
Shit. Carlin was ahead of his time in that regard.
I can. If an SJW even watches this in context, their heads would explode. I mean, George Carlin would never tolerate this nonsense.
He never would, and that's how we have to act. We have to act in such a way that Carlin will be proud.
I mean, as he's rotting away, but that's not the point.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, it'd be good to know whether take care of one another. Remember, saving the West is a side quest. The journey